Rokka no Yuusha episode 2, dude. Fremy though, like straight up Fremy. That character design, she's so sexy, dude. Like that demeanor, her kind of calm, cool, collected demeanor that she has, dude. She's badass. You can already tell crafting the bullets with her magic and whatnot. I'm just like, dude, the way she treats the dogs and her disgust for humans, and plus we have Gold off at the end of this episode with the accusation that she's supposedly the brave killer. I sense a lot of depth to this character, and just her character design in of herself. This is probably gonna be my best girl from this series. Like Nashetania, don't get me wrong, I'm loving her after this first episode, especially finding out about a little bit more about her backstory and you know how she was basically that civil war that took place and how she was treated by her father and her family and everything like that, and finding out about her life and her drive to be a hero and save, you know, the realm from the demon lord. She's like, if I can give that sense of ease to, you know, everybody in the world that I felt in that one night, that'll make me happy. I was like, dude, she's dope. But at the same time, I have some suspicion going on around her right now. But either way, we'll get to the theory crafting in a second, dude. But I'm just loving her. It's going to be one of these two characters for out of the female cast, because I believe one more of the Braves is a girl. It's going to be either Fremy or Nashetania. That's going to be my best girl. But I'm leaning towards Fremy right now. That's all I can say about that. She's just too beast. She just looks so fucking amazing. But let's dive into this episode. The two things that I'm loving the most about this series right now is the art style, especially the aesthetic of everything and the scenery. And, you know, the pacing. Let's talk about the art style for a second. Like, the backgrounds, dude. The aesthetic, the architecture, like when you saw the kingdom and everything, the color palettes, everything is just so beautiful. When you see Nashetania and, you know, ADLET looking at this sunrise, and I'm just like, dog, the scenery looks amazing. The character models, the color palettes, it's dope. I love the character designs and everything like that. So I'm loving the art style animation. My only problem with the animation right now and the art style was, you know, the Fiends in this episode. That CG looked terrible. And I don't know if it was because I'm coming off watching that God Eater Greatness where they had the Beast CG. But this just, I mean, it's Passion. I'm loving what they're doing overall, and Passion is not that big of a studio from my understanding of it, so I wasn't expecting too much, and they actually really impressed me with the visual look of everything of the world and whatnot. But the CG is lackluster, dude. The CGI is lackluster. I'm watching these Fiends. I'm just like, nah, that's not okay. That's not quality compared to the rest of the art style and everything like that. It just doesn't look good. So that was my only complaint. But the battle animation was quite good. Like seeing ADLET go in once again against them, with his tricks and his tactics and everything like that, finding out more about Nashetania's battle style and how she's using the blade dance and cutting people up, and she was definitely holding back. There's a whole cutesy act about her, especially where ADLET is concerned, but I'll get back into that in a second, right? But the battle animation is good, and the art style overall, aside from that, has been quite visually pleasing for me. So I like that, and I love the pacing right now, because when I read the description for the series, coming into it and after last week's episode, I would have thought by this point, we would have, you know, met up with the rest of the Braves, that we get to the checkpoint outside, you know, the Demon Lord's lair and everything like that, and we'd see all the Braves by the end of this episode. And I was especially feeling that with the pacing at the beginning of the episode, which was quite good. We covered about 10 days, you know, it was a lot about, you know, ADLET and Nashetania, exposition on them getting to know each other, you know, Nashetania just joking around with him, you know, kind of flirting with the man a bit, doing this kind of cutesy act, and then them bonding as well, which there was some genuine bonding taking place between them, but I'm wary right now, I'm wary, but I'll get back to that in a second, right? I thought during that portion, I was like, alright, this is the first half, they made it to that kind of halfway marker, and I would have been like, by the end of this episode now, we're going to meet everybody, but we only have, you know, our main two that we found out about last week. Gold has become a hero confirmed, you know, the princess's attendant, and Fremy, and for those of you that read the description on MAL, you know what's supposed to be taking place with the general synopsis and setup of this series, because let's get into theory crafting off of this point too. So basically, there are supposed to be, when they all arrive at the point, a total of 7 Braves, and we know it's supposed to be the 6 Braves, right? So they're all assuming that one of the Braves is, you know, a traitor, a spy for the Demon Lord of some kind, and they're working to destroy the rest of the Braves. Now, instantly you would think, and I honestly do believe right now that Fremy is the Brave Killer, but at the same time, a part of me doesn't want to believe that, especially with her demeanor and how she reacted to ADLET. She's like, are you trying to kill me? It's almost as if she's aware that there's a 7th, you know, Brave that's going around killing the other Braves, and that's the Brave Killer, potentially. But that just makes me feel that way. But she very well could be, and if that's the case, there's definitely a reason for it, and I still don't think that she is the one out of the 7 that would be in collusion with the Demon Lord. So I think Fremy is alright regardless. Even if she is killing Braves for whatever reason, probably has to do with some darkness in her past and why she hates humans and everything like that. We'll find out about soon enough, but I don't think she's the Brave to look out for that will, you know, ultimately will betray them and side with the Demon Lord based on this synopsis and there being a 7th and everybody being suspicious of the paranoia spreading throughout the group, right? I trust Goldoff. He just seems straight up loyal to Nashetania as well. So we'll see how that goes. We have to meet the other, you know, Braves, of course, and get a feel for them. But my 2 biggest theories right now in terms of who the person will ultimately be, I'm getting, like, with this series, I'm getting some Bahamut vibes, some Shingeki no Bahamut vibes. And I don't want to spoil anything about that, but similar to Favre, I would think that maybe potentially ADLET is, without unbeknownst to him, the key to the Demon Lord's plans or something like that, and he's the 7th one that it doesn't belong or something like that. And that makes perfect sense to me, and I can easily see it going down that path. But with Nashetania this episode, as much as I'm really liking her character, she seemed as almost as though she was putting on an act in that first battle, and it wasn't genuine. When she was waiting for ADLET to come back, and it seemed something was off when she was trying to convince him to stay and leave behind the girl in the village and everything like that. And I was like, wait a second, and then you see she's attacked by more fiends, and when we come back to her after the scenes with Fremy and ADLET, the whole slew of fiends, which was more fiends than were there before, are just all on the ground. She's perfectly fine. Her horse is dead too, and she just seems like unfazed, and then she's trying to act all cutesy like ADLET's coming back, and she realizes Goldoff, and her demeanor just completely changes. I'm like, dude, maybe she's straight up the one to look out for, and I could very well see that too, but I'm leaning most towards ADLET being the, you know, the one that's false, you know, the false Brave somehow, but that's also very predictable. But nevertheless, we still don't know who the Brave killer actually is. It could be even Goldoff trying to pin the blame on Fremy, but I believe it's Fremy, and there's a reason for what she's doing. Maybe she's seeking out the false Brave or something like that, but we'll just have to wait and see. Nevertheless, I'm still really interested in the general setup of this, even though it's, you know, a cliche scenario. The characters and the setup of the world are what's really drawing me into it right now. So, I really enjoyed episode 2. You know, had its problems, but overall the pacing is nice, and I'm liking the scenario and everything like that. So let me know your thoughts, and I'm out. Peace.